need to know how to fucking sell.
Yeah.
The selling falls into place when you know how to sell. Because when you know how to sell, you're forced to fucking deliver. You're forced to do everything. Or you're okay with having a shitty reputation and churning every client after 60 days. Because you only got 60 days, or they're going to be like, guys, I gave it a shot. I'm not happy. So sales.
Hey
Well,
guys, and welcome back to another edition of the Truth Talk podcast. Today I'm joined with Tariq. Hopefully I said that right.
you got it, man.
Yeah.
You got it.
So if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself for the people that might not know you.
Yeah, more than likely, my light just broke, but it's fine. My name is Tariq, 26, run an agency. It's all stacked in-house. I mean, I'm ready to take the internet by storm. I don't need any type of introduction, but I'm sure if you watch my YouTube videos, you'll see by the next 20 minutes, you'll be like, who the fuck is this guy? Why is he talking so much shit? So I think
Yeah,
we'll get the introductions can come in when we have a little bit of a conversation for sure.
of course. So you're kind of known for being the sales guy, right? You really focus in on sales. Kind of how did you get into it? How did you get into sales and business and the agency space as a whole?
Mate, I'll tell you, just like I tell everyone, I joined Hustlers University in 2022 in January. I was one of the first people to join it. It was like 3,000 people in it. The OG HU when there was no one really talking about it. And ever since then, I was in copywriting. I made a bit of money, thought I was a shit, put up some Andrew Tate bullshit photos on my Instagram, thought I was a shit. Then I stopped doing that. Then I did SMMA because, I was very much a shiny object type
Yeah.
dude. But I knew straight away that doing SMMA was not my calling, but I knew I was really good at it. So I've been doing that for the last 18 months. And that's really where it came from with the sales. I did have a sales role in SaaS while I was running my own agency and then partnering up with two other guys. But,
Mm.
I really only got introduced to sales for the last 2 years from January 2022 until now.
And is it something that really resonated with you, or why sales in particular?
To be honest, man, it wasn't even that. It wasn't even a case of like sales in general. I joined Hustlers University and there was no selling. It was all just email and copywriting, and it was very
Mhm.
new and a niche type topic when I started. So I got really lucky because no one else was doing it. But now it's just so common to see.
Yeah.
So the sales kind of came into play when I realized I was good at talking. It was all by random. Like I'm really lucky to be in the position I am right now. It wasn't a case of I want to do sales. I want to do sales. No one really, pushed me to do sales. I just found myself falling into that career role and then found myself really, developing that skill. And it was definitely more of a case of, oh shit, this is something I'm good at. Let me
Mhm.
monetize the skill.
Yeah. And did you have like a mentor or anyone that guided you through that process, or was it all kind of just you, you know, taking it by the helm?
I was very, very headstrong on not needing a mentor for the first maybe 18, no, not 18 months, maybe a year and a half, not paying
Mhm.
for anything. Hustlers University, I spent $100 on Hustlers University,
Yeah.
2 months at HU, and that was it. That was me saying, okay, that's enough money I'm spending. So I never spent a single penny on mentors for SMMA, not a single thing. But with sales, I came across Andy Elliott in March, and I just got off a call with him maybe an hour ago, and he's been my
Awesome.
mentor ever since. But of course, I will be investing in more as my agency scales, and who knows who's going to be my mentor now. There's a lot of people on my radar that I can't really discuss, but for sure, getting a mentor is 100% what everyone else should be doing. It has to be someone that you respect, someone that you think you could trust, and someone that really like you just want to be in their position in some form of aspect in their life. Obviously, not the full person, but small aspects. Definitely get a mentor.
Yeah. So what are you currently doing, like, for your SMMA, right? I know you like SMMA is kind of a broad sort of term. Is there like, can you kind of tell us what you do, like in your niche and what services you're offering?
Yeah, man. I mean, anyone that runs SMMA and does like AI, let me just answer that second part of your question first. All that bullshit, man, is just outdated. Like
Mhm.
it's shiny object syndrome. And the thing that works and has always been working and has been working since SMMA, Ty Lopez originated that idea is lead generation and client acquisition. Anyone that says anything else that's fancy, I just don't want to hear it. It might work, but all I do with my agency is lead gen and client acquisition, which is running an ad, getting those leads come in through GHL, and then booking them in with appointment setters. Okay. Sounds very simple, but it isn't.
Yeah.
Of course, there's other things that
There's
come
a
into
lot to
play.
go into it.
That's exactly what it is. And I'm in the med spa industry myself. We have 20 plus clients, and we're ready to take the fucking agency space by storm. I don't know if I can curse on your YouTube channel, but you're not monetized, so we'll be fine for
You're
now.
welcome to curse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. I mean, I guess when you say lead gen, it's kind of like you're selling. I like to put it this way, kind of like you're selling money at a discount, right? Because you're basically bringing in people, right, selling it, and they're making a return on investment, right? So I think, at least for me personally, that's the way that I do it. Personally, I run an appointment setting agency, right? So I do that, basically help people get clients in through the door, right? For other agencies and other services as well. So I guess the other thing I wanted to kind of ask you about is kind of social media, right? How did you get into YouTube as a whole, and like why did you get into it?
Bro, like you guys don't even know that. Like if you go on my channel, you'll see latest upload 1 year ago. But I made YouTube videos since I was a kid. It started with fucking Minecraft and Call of Duty, and then it started with like vlogging. I had 12 subscribers up until last year, the beginning of last year,
Yeah.
and I decided, fuck this, let me just give as much value as possible. But I think I just had a calling. I always had a natural aptitude to talk in front of a camera. I feel like
Mhm.
my camera presence is really good. So I'm just, leveling up that skill, getting in as many podcasts as possible, or just even conversing with other people in this kind of setting
Yeah.
to really improve those skills because further down the line, they're 100% going to be applicable to larger and bigger, bigger fish out there. So that's really it. But with content in general, bro, I just have fun doing it right now. It's not really
Yeah.
a chore, which some other agency owners and YouTubers do at the current, but I just have fun doing it. So if I can make it as fun as possible, that's why I do it, really.
Yeah. And is that kind of a skill, right? I know you mentioned like talking in front of a camera. Was that something that you had to kind of learn? Like I know you said it came kind of naturally, but for a lot of people that doesn't really come naturally. Is that why, you do a lot of the YouTube stuff?
I was always able to communicate to pretty much anyone. You could be fucking Kenyan, a Kenyan African living in a hut. I can talk to you, or you could be a penguin on the North Pole. Guess what? I can still have a conversation with that person and that animal.
Yeah.
That's how good of a communicator I feel like, and it was always the case. Maybe at a lower scale, but
Mhm.
realistically, bro, I can't give you the answers to that. I just always felt like I could speak to anyone,
Yeah.
and that's what resonates with me. And I do believe when I'm making those YouTube videos that that's perceived when watching me, that I'm
Yeah.
talking to the viewer, very much like singling out every person, which is what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And how much do you think that helped with sales, right? Because I feel like that has to be massive for sales, right?
Bro, man, selling is everything. I mean, what we're selling right now, talking to each other.
Yeah.
Everything is sales in life. Like, why am I buying five gum? Why did I buy this shit in the Walmart? I got sold on just looking at it because it looked better than all the other ones. Sales is everything. So if you're not working on sales, then guess what? You're gonna have a problem. Like I try to stay away from this bullshit, but politics, women, all like all that, like health. But
Yeah.
all this is sales too. How are you going to get a woman? You have to sell yourself to a woman, make yourself interested. How are you going to get in shape? You got to sell that mindset that you need to get in better shape. How are you going to sell yourself into like a religion or getting political? I avoid talking about those topics. So let's leave that there. But you get what I'm saying. Of
Yeah. Yeah. It's all in the same realm, right? Um,
course.
so I guess I also wanted to ask you, in terms of, I know before we talked about Instagram, YouTube, we can also mention TikTok. What platform do you think is the best to post content on and grow a following on?
Bro, there's two platforms that stand out to me, and YouTube and Instagram. And the reason why YouTube's a how-to. You go there to learn some shit. You type
Yeah.
in how to do this, how to do that, live calls, how do I learn this? What's the shortest amount of time I can learn this information? It's YouTube videos. Instagram, who really watches Instagram videos and gets their pen and paper and says, "Oh, that's good value. Let me scroll one more. That's good value." No one does that. Me, I'll give a quick tip, just a quick hack in this video because it's what I do, and I want to give as much value as possible, even in these calls. Is remove all your fucking followers. Who the fuck do you follow? Do you follow a bunch of OnlyFans bitches? Stop following them. Do you follow all these naked men with their muscles out? Unfollow them. Follow every single person with notoriety. And for me, let me just kind of give a real life example. I follow Andy Elliott, PBD, Patrick Bet-David, for all you like 14-year-olds watching this video that don't know who the fuck that is. Then we got Jordan Peterson. All these people that like just when they speak, you gotta fucking listen. Andrew Tate is one of them too. Tristan Tate too. So when you hear these guys talk, you got to listen. So then with these followers, instead of going on a feed, go on your following feed and just scroll
Yeah.
through your followers because they actually produce some content that's actually really good. You can spend 15 minutes watching these videos and think, oh shit, I got a lot of value from that. If you do that, 15 minutes of scrolling a day with people that you respect and truly want to be or copy something in the future, then that's what I would say Instagram's good for. So if you can make content where people put you in their following list, where they scroll and see you, then that's where you kind of achieve something. But who the fuck watches Instagram like that? YouTube
Yeah.
is all the most, is the most leverageable place out of all of the social media platforms. Of course, short form content is king, so you need to be on everything.
Mhm.
Omnipresence is everything, but YouTube is where everyone kind of lands and truly gets like commits.
Yeah, and there's so much information on YouTube, right? You can find anything, like literally
Oh,
anything on how to like learning anything, trying to build something, how to, right? It's a how-to guide is the best description for it, right? And I also, what you were saying with the Instagram, I did that to start my, podcast. I would just follow all these people that I find, interesting that they have amazing, like when they talk, you have to listen, right? And I would just scroll and the things that were getting recommended to me, I would always reach out to those people. So everyone that got recommended to me, I would send them a DM and ask them to come on the podcast. And that's kind of how this whole thing got started with like interviewing other people, right? So yeah, it's interesting that you do say that.
most definitely, man. Most definitely. You're going about it the right way if you're doing all these podcasts, building up your network for sure, man. Especially at your age. And I'm not trying to use my older age as like a strong arm, but the fact that you're this young trying to and already thinking like that is 100% the way to go about it.
Yeah. So I mean, kind of going back to talking about sales, what would you tell to someone who's trying to get into sales, trying to learn? Where do you go? What content, what books do you have to read? What podcasts do you listen to? What is the best way to get started?
Drop the books, drop the podcast, stop watching videos. If you're watching a video, it's got to be the next 10 seconds of what I'm about to say, because I say this to every fucking person, okay? Write a script, pick a niche, start calling, okay? Scrape leads, lead scraper, phantom buster, whatever. Google Maps, your fucking, restaurant down the road. Knock on their
Yeah.
door and say, "What's up? I'm here, motherfuckers. I'm trying to help." Send a pigeon out with a note on their fucking foot. Throw it out the window and hope you get something back. Volume is everything at the beginning. That's what you do. You pick up the phone, you start dialing. All this, SMS automation, AI automation, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, Facebook, all this DM, great. They're all good in their own fucking way. But one thing that has been still going since fucking 1950s is cold calling. That has never stopped. And it
Yeah.
always will be the best form of outreach. So if you pick the phone up and start dialing, that's what you fucking do. That's the only way you're gonna fucking win in your agency, or even if it's not an agency, you just said selling. Okay, it doesn't even have to be an SMMA. It can be
Mhm.
anything. If you're not cold calling, if you feel that, or if you think that you're gonna have a successful business and it's not built on verbal outreach over the fucking phone, you've got another thing coming.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
anyone that says, "Oh, I've never made a cold call," show me your receipts then. Show me your receipts that your company's succeeding like that.
Yeah.
Because
It's funny that you say that because after this call, I actually have to make a bunch of cold calls for my personal agency, right?
oh,
So yeah, it kind of goes aligned with that. So one thing that I do want to point out with that is do you use, Instagram or any other avenue to get appointments or anything like that? Or
most definitely, man. Instagram, email are my strongest in my niche for sure.
Mm.
For my niche, because I found it to be the best in my niche, Instagram and email. Obviously, cold calling is the best.
Yeah,
SMS works, but every single type of outreach is good. I
yeah,
would say boil it down to five things, which is in no specific order: cold call, SMS, Instagram, Facebook, and email.
yeah,
Nothing really else. If you're just doing those five things, you'll be fine. But for my personal agency, it's Instagram, cold calling, and some email. Of course, inbound ads if you got the fucking money, and that's what we do. So that's a sixth one. But of course, not everyone has the ability to drop
the
100 to
capital.
$300 a day on ads. So
Yeah. And so what tips would you have on keeping that authority frame on a sales call and cold call? I know I'm kind of bouncing around a little bit here.
of
But
course,
for me, that's something that I really struggle with at the beginning. How do you kind of keep that frame?
the answer to every question when it comes to outreaching and prospecting is volume. That's like the major answer. That's the 50% answer. And I always recommend that, just focusing on that. But when it comes to authority, that only comes with knowledge of the product.
Hmm.
You're on the call and you're like, shut the fuck, why are you talking to me? I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to hear. I got you. I'm going to show you exactly why our product is what you need. Because guess what? I've spoken to how many people in your niche? I've spoken to so many people. I've helped so many people. I currently got this many people. When you have that authority, that comes with product knowledge. It comes with consistency. It comes with volume. And there's nothing else to it. There's no magic word that you can add in or a magic thing to say mid call that makes you more authoritative. It's knowing what the fuck you're talking about. I'd never ever, let's just use fuck, I'd never ever tell LeBron James, bro, shoot the basketball like this.
Yeah.
What he has the receipts. He has the receipts that whenever he says anything basketball related, I don't even open my mouth. So when you're able to say that to a prospect where they don't even open their mouth, they don't even have questions because you're just so cut, crystal clear, saying what you need to say,
Nice.
then you know what the fuck then you know exactly that that's the answer.
Yeah. And is there any other, I guess, I don't want to say tips, but kind of things that you use, frames that you use to kind of perform better on a sales call besides that? Or
It's about being ballsy. Like they don't know you, you don't know them. You're not some big established, Microsoft, Amazon company. So you can get away with a little bit more when it comes
Mhm.
to going against the grain or saying out of pocket shit. Let's just say it like that. So that's how you make yourself, you want to make yourself stand out. I would always be truthful on a sales call. So if you have no clients when you're starting out, it's good to start off by saying, look, this is 100, like get free trials, get a good, if you're really good. Luke Ballmar, someone who I don't really look up to, but I've seen some shit that he says. He did like Google Facebook ads for someone for 2 months, never even getting paid. And then they recognize the value, turned the ads off. Now, I don't know how truthful it was when he said it, but I saw that piece of short form, and he's someone who I follow. Keep in mind, I'm scrolling when I saw this. He turned off the ads and immediately called them up, say, "What the fuck? Why are the ads not working?" Great, I shut them off. Cool. They hired him the next day and they paid him like 6K a month.
Yeah.
So that's the way to be. Give until you get back. Alex Hermosi, he's the stickler for that.
Yeah. And so do you recommend starting on a free trial basis or performance basis? I mean, where would you start with, like if you had to restart?
If you're a little Indian 16-year-old living in your basement, yes, free trials all day, every day. If you're someone who needs the money immediately and you're like 25 and you have rent to pay and you got a girl and you got kids and this, that, and this and all this other bullshit expenses and fucking debt that you have to pay for, I would try get some type of money up front. Well, if you
Mhm.
are living under your parents' household and they're paying for your rent, food, you can get away with doing some free fucking trials to get some testimonials and perhaps even turn those guys into paying clients.
Yeah.
Because it like just a quick tip, people don't I speak to people all the time. They're thinking 1 month, 2 month down the line. Why are you thinking like that? You could have this client that you do a free trial for. It's not going to be free forever if you're actually fucking killing it for them. They'll pay you
Yep.
eventually. They'll just feel obliged to pay that shit for you. I've had so many outreach guys for me that want to do it for free. And one of them's so good that I'm like, bro, give me your PayPal account. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's how it works.
Yeah. And what is your thoughts on kind of being as on honesty, right? Being honest on cold calls and in business, right? Because I see a lot of people, it's not that they're not honest, right? But they kind of hide and they kind of cover up certain things. Maybe they don't have the receipts yet and they're acting like they do, right? Or, using different things. What are your thoughts on that?
Man, I can't sleep at night without doing ethical business.
Yeah.
If I knew that I have a client that I can't actually promise or do what I promised to them, I won't be able to sleep at night.
Yeah.
That's I don't know anyone past the 100K mark. And shout out fucking Stevie Johnson because this is what he said to me when we were on the call. I don't know anyone past that 100K mark that isn't a fucking scammer or does all that bullshit. How I don't know anyone that's respectable or how they actually sleep at night because eventually that shit catches up to you.
Yeah.
So the answer is if you're okay with doing that, let's see you do that until no one who's even making 100K a month doing that shit. It's always ethical at the end of the day when it comes to SMMA. Now, obviously, there's some businesses out there where it's just a little bit, uh,
Yeah.
let's just leave that topic alone. But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. 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 Totally. So I guess if you had to sort of restart and there was a skill that you had to learn, right? Besides, would it be sales the first thing that you would learn, or is there anything else that you would kind of want to lean into?
Bro, that's like saying if I did media buying, oh, I'm going to close everyone. No, you need to know how to fucking sell.
Yeah.
The selling falls into place when you know how to sell. Because when you know how to sell, you're forced to fucking deliver. You're forced to do everything. Or you're okay with having a shitty reputation and churning every client after 60 days. Because you only got 60 days, or they're going to be like, guys, I gave it a shot. I'm not happy. So it's sales. Always.
Sales. And is there any other skill like besides sales? Like if you had to learn a skill, copywriting, media buying,
You
video
know,
editing.
the skill is look like a man
Hmm.
or a woman, but look presentable. Make it. How do you make yourself look presentable? Eating clean, going to the gym,
Yeah.
respecting people around you, taking care of yourself, and they go, oh shit, this person's disciplined. I'm gonna respect this person because they dress well, they look cut. I can see the fucking cuts in their jaw. I can see maybe a bicep vein. I can see that their skin is clear. I can see that they actually take care of themselves. So I can look at this person and say, okay, this person takes care of themselves. They might be able to actually take care of me.
Hmm. Yeah.
So it's all about appearance. It's all about looking good, man, and sounding good, and not being not like another tip would be like doing what you fucking promise. Like just if you say you're gonna do some shit, you better fucking go out with your
Good.
dying mind to actually do it for them.
Yeah. So another question I have for you, and I asked this to everyone on the podcast. What are your thoughts on, working for your passion, what you want to do, or working for whatever makes as much money?
Bro, I work in the med spa industry. I'm a 6'4" ex-basketball professional player, and I work in the med spa industry. This is not my fucking passion, but guess what, motherfucker? It makes me a lot of money. And I'm gonna ride this out until I can invest in other things that I actually want to do, which is buy a lot of fancy car. No, it isn't. Fuck. No, it isn't. It's for who knows. But right now, this is what it's doing. It's all about building relationships. My team's strong. I got good people around me, and right now, it doesn't even matter about the money. It's just about scaling this to see if I can do it, and I can.
Yeah, it's funny because everyone has a different answer for that. I see people saying passion, I see people saying money, I see people saying a mix of both. Yeah, it's interesting. Wait, where did you, just out of curiosity, where did you play basketball?
All EU. I went to D2 in Delphi,
D2?
but I mean that was short lived. But yeah, European basketball, professional basketball, bullshit. I'm 6'4" and I'm white. Like let's be real here. Like how good was I? Professional? Take that with a grain of salt. But I was getting paid to play, so I guess I could say that.
Yeah.
Representing
Yeah.
Ireland,
I used to play a
let's
lot of
go.
AAU as a couple years ago, and then I just started focusing on soccer. So that's why I'm asking out of curiosity. Do you think that affected you at all in terms of like the mentality that you use?
100% when it comes to like being disciplined. Like it really just comes down to discipline, man. Like
Hmm.
that's the only real thing that obviously I'm in good shape because of basketball and just like that, like that like seasoned. Like I don't think I'll ever get skinnier or like really fat just because I've been doing it so long that my body just goes back to its old state. But the discipline of basketball, those 9 hour training sessions every single week. I've been doing like like 50 hours a week of basketball, like pure, just like
Running.
imagine training fit. I mean, that's not that much, but you know what I mean? Like you put your body under that fucking type of stimulus at 18 years old, or since I was 16 was when I was playing professional for 4 or 5 years straight. You have to do it because you love it. So the discipline is what I got from all that basketball.
Yeah. And you think the discipline is sort of the key in terms of business as well, or would it be just sort of focus for sports as well?
Bro, like how many times do we wake up every day and say, I want to do this, this, and this? If you're actually disciplined, I actually did, I want to do this, this, and this. That's all discipline, man. It
Hmm.
doesn't take any skill to actually make an agency reach 100 grand a month. It takes discipline and a lot of hard work. Like it's so cringe, but if you just put like I say this to everyone that's starting an agency out and anyone that I kind of help in my inner circle, you take one problem at a time. So if you focus on media buying or delivering when you haven't even picked up the fucking phone to dial, you're gonna have a problem. So if you can be disciplined enough to do 1,000 cold calls, book a meeting, close them on the meeting, and then focus on the next steps. That's called discipline. If you can just do all that and see that there is light at the end of the tunnel, because there is if you fucking go hard and discipline yourself.
Yeah. So another thing I wanted to ask you about is how do you manage a team? Like, because for a lot of people, that's a really difficult skill, right? Leadership, trying to manage all these different things, trying to build systems to automate things, make things quicker. What tips or what advice would you give to someone trying to learn that skill?
You obviously need to have a surface level knowledge of everything yourself. Because I had my own agency and I was basically doing 10K a month by myself. I had one appointment setter, which was my family member. But you got to delegate it to people that you trust or have someone else run the show. Like I just hired a closer. Well, I hired an appointment setter for B2B, which is booking meetings for me. And now he's a full blown closer.
Hmm. Yeah.
And now I know that I never need to worry about closing deals because he's trained up to the stage of a KPI that I'm happy with. But when it comes to media buying and delivery, I partner with two other guys who were already running 10K a month agencies. So one of the guys handling media buying, onboarding, all that kind of operations type shit, and then someone's handling the full back end of delivery, which is fulfillment. So I don't really need to worry when it comes to that. Of course, I keep my hand in the cookie jar and see what's going on because I'm not really in charge, but it's just good to keep like warm and fresh with everything. But you want to make sure that you have everything, knowledge, all that knowledge of what's going on in your company. Because if you want to be a leader, man, you have to know what's going on and people have to actually like you. Because if they don't, good luck running a fucking company. Some people say they have like 100K per month agency, and I say, what's your team size? And they say, oh, I outsource all this shit. Your fucking agency's gonna fall.
Yeah.
Watch. You need a good team and being a good leader and making people like you and good communication skills. It's all selling, man. Like I said.
Yeah. And what tips would you give for like communication and everything? Because a lot of times, especially like I've experienced this myself, I get caught up. Talking to people on this platform, talking to people on this platform, and it's just trying to manage all of it at once sometimes can get difficult. What tips would you give to someone in order to do that?
Couple of things. I mean, I would always say listen, like truly listen, because if you're really listening and the person who you're listening to you actually respect and they say do this, fucking do it. Second of
Yeah.
all, like don't have someone like it's hard to kind of say, but don't have or not say, but it's hard to articulate. But don't have someone thinking in the back of their head, oh shit, this person isn't trustworthy.
Hmm.
That's that those are communication tips. And the way you do that is just by being blatantly honest. Maybe not too much. You don't need to tell me everything. But by being so unbelievably honest that you're not going to fuck someone over and listening. You those are two communication hacks right there. And guess what? That has nothing to do with shit coming out of your mouth.
Yeah. Yeah. And do you think listening is the key to kind of establishing a little bit of that trust, not just on sales calls, but on communication, on cold calls, on everything? What are some tips for establishing trust on that same line?
I'm a big stickler for studying the person I'm talking to.
Hmm.
So I wouldn't really talk to anyone that I wouldn't know a little bit about. So when it comes to listening, if I know this guy has nothing to fucking, teach me, I'll know that because of the receipts that he has behind him. So when this guy starts talking, I listen, but I put these people against the ropes. It's so because I'm a good listener and I'm a good communicator. When I smell a bullshitter because I was one, I can make them sweat a little bit. Oh, so you're saying this? Show me what the fuck you're talking about. Because I just got off a call with Hunter and Stevie. I talked, but when they talked, I
Yeah.
fucking listened. Why? Because they got receipts for $1 million agencies. So you just got to do your research, study these people, make sure that the person you're listening to isn't a bullshitter. But if you're a good communicator, you'll know they're not, or that they are. But listen when someone is telling you something, and put your ego to the side and understand. Oh shit, this person actually knows something.
Yeah. It's funny that you're saying that. I just remember watching that video that you had posted where you were analyzing Hunter's sales calls. When you was talking to that one lady, I just remember I had deja vu of that moment. You were breaking that down for everyone. I mean, how important do you think it is to kind of analyze other people and what they're doing and how you can apply it?
Don't analyze too much of other people's shit. I just do it for the vibes,
Content.
for the content really, but it is valuable and it's good to kind of look at other people's sales calls every once in a while, but you need to be watching your own shit. If you're okay, I'm assuming most of these guys that watch this content are getting into sales for some form of aspect of an agency or business in general. So review your own shit. Be so obsessive with the content or not the content, the videos that you're sitting or the sales calls that you're sitting, the cold calls that you're doing. I tell my guys, look, record every single fucking call you're on. Make sure you're recording every single cold call. Show me your scripts. I want to see this, that, and this. So don't watch too much of that shit. Make sure it's you that you're watching. Make sure someone else who you think has a good opinion or has the receipts that they're actually better than you to review your shit for you. But don't do it the other way around. You're not really going to learn too much watching someone's sales calls over and over again. Just watch your own. I always like my big ploy is for cold calling. Don't even fucking write a script for your first 50 calls because it won't even matter what
Mhm.
you say. It's how you say things. So see what happens when you just dial the phone.
Interesting. Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that as well. Like, what do you use for scripts? Because when I do cold calls, I have a very light script. Like I have, the opener, you know, a little bit of a pitch, not very much of a pitch at all, just kind of telling them what we do. And then I just try to find their problem on the call instantly, try to figure out what the best way to proceed is with them. Do you kind of use something similar to that, or
Shit,
what?
man. Same shit.
Yeah.
Exact same shit. Like there, when you get past the lack of confidence stage, follow a script. Once you've kind of adapted and learned your target market, use it lightly. Then start articulating yourself accordingly to the type of people on the call with you.
Yeah.
When you, and like I said, how does that happen? Volume. You know what you need to do when you make a fucking like 10,000 cold calls. And by the way, if you're really good, you can do that in fucking 90 days. Tell me you don't get any results if you do 10,000 cold calls in 90 days. I don't know anyone that has ever told me, Tariq, I've done 10,000 cold calls, no results. Never heard
10,000
of it.
10,000 cold calls in 90 days is what? That's like a little bit more than 100 per day. That's not that much. That's not that much.
Exactly, man. You can
Yeah.
put 4 hours of your day every single day into cold calling. Let's just say Sunday doesn't happen, so you space it out to more on Saturday and other days. Bro, let's be real here. Let's be real.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean that number makes sense to me. Just like personally off the numbers that I'm doing, that number is a number. And like what, I mean, just out of curiosity for myself, what is your average like pickup rate? Is it like does it vary a lot or
Bro, I wouldn't even know those numbers on my sales team, but 50%. Triple dot,
50% pickup rate?
50% pickup rate because our leads are so deep. Like we DQ so many shitty leads.
Really
You know, like I've
interesting.
been doing it for so long that I have a lead list of like both my closers have lead lists of like over 1,000 leads. So we just
Yeah.
DQ shitty ones that we know won't pick up. So I bet a 50% pickup rate. But that's because we clean leads. Like if you want me to go all the way to the start, like all the way to the beginning,
Yeah.
bro, I mean, I was making $10 and maybe not getting a pickup at all.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like there is no right answer. It's about how well you clean your leads, how good your leads are when you scrape them. If you spend a bit of money on someone who wants to make you a lead list, you might be able to get a fucking higher pickup rate than 50%.
Mm. Yeah, that 50% is crazy, like considering like my numbers. Do you track a lot of the data? I'm
Everything,
always tracking
man.
data.
Always, man. Always track KPIs, meetings booked, meetings sat, closes, obviously. You know it,
Mm.
like that's
Yeah.
what people like to track. But dials, minutes on call, that's something that I'm really starting to track now. So I can actually see, okay, is this person just dialing? Because I manage a sales team now. I don't do any, well, I obviously close a little bit, but I manage a sales team. So I need to keep up with, which I cold call every once in a while, but I need to manage, okay, this person made $100, but how many minutes were they speaking on the phone? 30 seconds. So you made $100 and you spoke for 30 seconds. What the fuck, bro? You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
Those options you need to make sure you can see those, especially if you take your shit seriously. But get an established foundation first. Don't worry about all that shit. Just try to sign as many people as possible. Get to like 20K. After that, you can start looking at your data.
Mm.
Go
Okay.
high level. It's a good memory.
Cool. Cool. Now, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. Do you have anything else you kind of want to say before we kind of wrap it up?
Bro, stay sexy. There's not much I need to say, man. I appreciate you jumping to get me on this call.
Thank you
I,
for
I,
coming on. All your socials will be in the description of this video, so you guys can go check that out. You know, YouTube, Instagram. Yeah. Anything else?
all is good, man. Where you calling from?
I'm from Houston. So Houston, Texas. Yeah.
Okay, so is it hot?
Not right now, but yeah, it's very hot and very hot. And I'm originally from Spain, so like I kind of have interesting background. But I'm used to the heat.
Right, Valencia? What region?
Zaragoza.
Okay.
Um,
You got
yeah.
the Spanish accent, anyways.
Yes, I do have the Spanish accent, so I'm
Um,
fluent as well. So that's a good skill to have as well,
yeah,
being
especially if you're in Houston,
bilingual.
bro.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in Houston, for sure.
Where are you located?
Well, I was just in London, but now I live in Vancouver with my homies.
Vancouver.
But that's
Awesome.
what every loser says they do. My guys actually lived here already. We didn't just all like pack up and say we're going to Vancouver because that's gay.
Would you want to travel someplace and like do like that travel lifestyle, or what are your thoughts on that?
Bro, anyone that does that gay shit, bro, travel lifestyle, what? What's that travel lifestyle? Let's do that when we're 35.
Mm,
What are we traveling for? Any of these guys that you see in all these fancy schmancy places, that's, don't buy their shit. Let's just say that. You want the guy that's sweating his ball sack off on a computer in a cave and buy his shit. Not these big agency owners in Marbella, living it up, talking about women, talking about fucking Hinge, how to get bitches. You don't, what are you talking about? Get away from me before I beat your ass. Anyways,
Yeah.
stop it. I'm just
End it there.
keep
Anyway,
it in. I don't care.
anyway, thank you for coming on, and we'll see you guys in the next edition of the True Talk podcast.